Hi everybody, this is Dan Talk Sense, and today I'm going to do a fragrance review of a fragrance called Jazz Club by the house of Maison Margiela. I've been wearing this throughout the week, so I'm going to give you a bit of an insight into how it performed on me, which fragrances I think that it compares to, and I'm going to make a conclusion towards the end on whether I think that you should go out and buy this fragrance. So if you want to know more about Jazz Club, please stay tuned. Welcome back. So today I'm going to give you an insight into how it performed on me throughout the week. It's going to be slightly different to the reviews that I usually do. So if you've been following my channel from the start, you'll know that what I tend to do is give you first impressions in the house. I'll then go out and feedback how it performs throughout the day, and then I'll make a conclusion at the end. But I've done this slightly differently. I've been back to work now. That's why I'm wearing my suit. I've not long got in. And I thought it'd be just nice to give you an insight into this fragrance. So it won't be a first impressions video, but I will give you an overall impression of what I thought of the fragrance. So just spray my hand just to remind me of the opening. So when you spray it on initially, you do get that nice bit of neroli at the top, and it is really pleasant in the top. Now, the first impressions I got of this fragrance was not that it smelled like Dolce & Gabbana The One. There are two fragrances that it reminded me of. One was Bentley for Man Intense, and that's because that has got a heavy note of rum in it, and a bit of a tobacco vibe. But with Bentley for Man Intense, that's got a really prominent incense note in it, and that's what makes it stand out from this fragrance. But to me, they were very similar, but I would say that this smells better than Bentley for Man Intense. Another fragrance that I feel that it smells kind of similar to was Penhaligon's Halfeti. Now, when I looked on Fragrantica at the reviews of this, a number of people have said that this smells close to Blazing Mr. Sam. But in my opinion, Blazing Mr. Sam and Halfeti are quite similar. In my opinion, I remember smelling them both in Penhaligon's shop in London, and I felt they're quite similar. So in fairness, people are picking up that similar vibe. The spiciness of this and that muskiness in the base, I think that's where they're getting in the comparisons, but I definitely felt that this was in a similar vein to Penhaligon's Halfeti. But I just want to make it clear to everybody that's watching, if you are a big fan of Dolce & Gabbana The One, I'm telling you from my experience and my opinion, this does not smell like Dolce & Gabbana The One. I think Dolce & Gabbana The One is an absolute superstar of a fragrance, and the prominent notes of that tobacco and grapefruit. And for me, what makes this different is, yeah, you've got the orange at the top and you've got a bit of tobacco that comes into this, but it's just the muskiness and spiciness of this that makes it different. In terms of performance, it is really, really good. It is above average. So I'll be putting this on at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll still be getting whiffs of this about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So in terms of performance and projection, it was really good. The scent bubble around me would have been about a yard and a half. It was, around me, and I could get whiffs of it. So it was solid projector and above average performer. In terms of quality, I was thinking about this, that this is the cost of like a high-end designer fragrance. So you could pick this up possibly £75–80 for Jazz Club. Bentley for Man Intense is about £23. When I compare the quality of the two fragrances, I don't think there's much of a difference in quality. Now, you could argue that Bentley for Man Intense is really, really good value for what it is, and it's undervalued, and it's one of the best bargains you can get, and we know that because a number of good cheap fragrances that smell more expensive, Bentley for Man Intense is always mentioned. So it could be that that's undervalued, but some people would say that Jazz Club is overpriced. I think it's a fair price to put Jazz Club with those high-end designer fragrances, but I'm not sure it's a fragrance that I'll go out and buy, simply because I think if I already own Bentley for Man Intense, well, I've had a decant of it and I could pick that up for £23, and there's not a huge amount of difference in quality, and for me the scent profile is quite similar. I think it smells better than Bentley for Man Intense. I'm not so sure I like that incense note in Bentley for Man Intense, but both equally have that good quality, and they're both really good mature fragrance. So I would say that with Jazz Club, it's not really blown me away. I've read on numerous forums that it's not their best release. There are other fragrances that they've released that are a lot better. I've smelt By the Fireplace and I thought that was an absolutely lovely fragrance. It was really well done. So yeah, not bad, but not groundbreaking. So I don't think it's too unique, but not bad at all. And I did enjoy getting the whiffs of it when I was in work this week. If I was to give it a rating out of 10, I'll probably give it about a 7 out of 10. So if you smelt those fragrances I've mentioned before, Halfeti, if you like Bentley for Man Intense, it's worth checking out, but not close to Dolce & Gabbana the 1 EDP, in my opinion. I hope that was helpful to you all out there. I don't go into too much detail about the note breakdown. I'll give you sort of an idea about what the prominent notes I picked up from this. And for me, you get the orange in the top, really pleasant opening, and then you get the nice rum that comes into it. You do get a bit of tobacco, but not as much tobacco as I thought I was going to get from the reviews. I thought it was going to be a massive, amount of smokiness in this fragrance, that nice, lovely tobacco scent. But for me, not as much as other fragrances, in my opinion. It was the rum and it was that neroli at the top that was getting most of. And it was a really nice smell, but that's what I was generally getting with that muskiness in the bottom. So, should you buy it? Because I'm not going to buy it myself. I'm not going to buy a full bottle. Some people might say, oh, he's stingy, just reviews decants. But for me, this means I can review a lot more fragrances. I can get a good idea of a fragrance by picking up 10 mils. And I got this off Fragcom UK Facebook page. I can get a good understanding of this after 2 or 3 wears. And I know now that I don't want to go and get a full bottle. I'd say, yeah, it's worth getting if you like your Bentley for Man Intense, Halfeti, those type of fragrances. But I would advise you to get a decant first, and just to get an idea of what you think of the fragrance. But for me, it didn't blow my mind, and a little underwhelmed, but solid fragrance, solid, decent performer, decent projector. So thank you all for watching my video today. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I'm quite excited because I have received Instant Crush in the post. I bought a small decant, so Instant Crush Mancera fragrance. I've wanted to smell for a long time, so that video should be coming up soon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be speaking to you all very soon.